Okay. So tonight I'm gonna go see Meg. I know what you're all saying, not really my kind of film. I would agree with you there. But I have been watching some strange films lately that I found kind of therapeutic and a little bit like easier on my brain. Things like Skyscraper, Jurassic World, and I've kind of really enjoyed vegging out to these kind of films, so I thought, why not go see Meg? And kind of the main reason though is because Dark Web has been pulled, Unfriended Dark Web has been pulled from Australian shelves, aka it's not showing in the cinema, which is so unfortunate. And Slender Man doesn't come out here until like the 24th or the 23rd, which I will try and review. But so I'm kind of stuck with Meg for the time being to get my horror fix in the cinema. So I'm gonna go see Meg. I didn't really even know until recently that Eli Roth was pulled from it. The last time I looked at the film, Eli Roth was still directing it, so I was all for it. I'm not sure if you guys know, but he was replaced because of creative differences. Apparently he wanted to keep an R rating, but also have like a blockbuster film, things that they didn't really agree on. And also there was a rumor that he also wanted to play the main character in the film. But I digress. The director for the film is John Turnelup. I'm gonna say that name real quickly and pray that I said it correctly. He did Cool Runnings and then a whole bunch of action films, including our fave Nicolas Cage in National Treasure 1 and 2. But I think he's yet to do a horror movie, so this should be really interesting. It does star Ruby Rose, who I'm kind of like, I feel a bit weird about her in these kind of movies just because I'm from Australia, she's from Australia, and I used to see her all the time on TV. She used to be a VJ first, so it's kind of a bit weird to see her starring how she is, like good on her, but I never really saw her as an actress from the start, so it's kind of hard to like go into that. But it should be a really interesting ride. I really don't know much about the film. It's a shark film. I don't think I need to know much. I have kind of scrolled through the ratings on IMDb and it's so funny. It's like 1, 2, 8, 10, 1, 8, 10, 7, 5, 1. It's all over the place. You guys are scatterbrained, so I'm really excited to see what I think about the film. I'm going to go with my boyfriend Dean, who is horrified of horror movies, but obviously we know this is going to be a joke film and we're not taking it seriously. The bar is set very low, so I'm not really worried about having too high expectations. So I think it should be a fun ride, is what I'm trying to say. But let's just go and see how we do. Let's go see Meg. Ah. We're at the Reading Cinemas, which I never come here, never. Last time I came here was because I went to see Winchester, but I got free tickets, that's why I came to this one. This is such a crazy old school cinema, and this is the part of town where we don't like to come. It's a very strange part of town. Last time I came here shopping, I was screamed at by someone when I went to Kmart by myself. So this should be interesting. Last time I went in here, they had red leather chairs and it was just bizarre for a cinema.
I'm just waiting for them to, I will actually take them to the table.
I don't think it's worth it though. So just after what I was saying to you guys, we're walking through the parking lot and there's like these two youths and they're trying to open people's car doors, like no joke. Did you see that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I
like just as I said that, so I'm not being hell sketchy and bougie, it's like for real. Hi guys, we just finished watching The Meg. I do believe I called it Meg before, which sometimes I fuck up. I always say the when I don't mean to, and either way. Anyway, the film, I don't know if I have to explain what it's about. You know, it's a shark movie, but it is about a bunch of marine biologists, like a group that are offshore from China, and they're kind of working on this breakthrough to kind of see if the ocean floor dives through, and then they accidentally let out this giant beast, which is the Meg, which is a giant shark, the biggest shark that ever existed. The film wasn't as jokey as I thought. I mean, it did have some comedy in there, but it wasn't as campy and as like full-on jokey as I assumed it would be. And I think that this is because when Eli Roth was attached to it, I assumed it was going to be like that. But it was definitely more of an action film than that. But towards the end, it does change and gets really full on. I was really surprised about in the structure of the film, which I guess we spoke about, how it was kind of just all up and down and kind of everywhere. And I think there's two things to, like, facts that you should keep in mind. One, it was filmed in New Zealand, which I just think is a cool fact. And two, it's actually based on a book. So I think that that was really important because it felt like it was kind of all over the place, but also in the way that it would be translated from a book. I don't know how closely it is based on the book, but it seemed like it was following kind of chapters, like something would end and then something else would happen, and then you would end with these characters and then some other characters would like come in. So it was kind of strange with that. And throughout the whole film, I kept on feeling like there were so many good parts and then kind of like meh parts, then good parts, then meh parts. So the structure was kind of all over the place. Actors in there, you didn't know Ruby Rose was in there?
No, I didn't. The only thing I knew about the movie going in was Jason Statham was in there. That was literally the only thing, and it was about a shark. That was the two things I knew about the movie, so...
Ruby Rose's accent was really strange for me because I can hear the Australian twang and then you could hear the American come through and you're like, what? But she actually did all right. I'm going to give it to her. She did okay. What was the guy from The Office?
Dwight from The Office? I don't know his actual, like, his
real name is actually pretty forgettable, to be honest.
Well, okay. Tell us what you really think.
Well, his real name doesn't suit him, I feel like.
Dwight suits him.
Rainn Wilson.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah, I always forget his name. What did you think of him?
I think he played his character pretty well, which is kind of like this, like, billionaire that's kind of trying to stay hip and cool, but then also still about the business and stuff like that. Because he's like a billionaire in a t-shirt, wearing kicks and a blazer, you know. But
yeah, stereotype.
Yeah. But yeah, he was. I think he played his character the way that I would imagine that they sold it to him. So I think he did that well.
Yeah, I actually thought that they really took the piss out of some stereotypes in there. They even had like the scientist who was really sad about like certain things that happened in the film. I thought it was really interesting. Like he was really doing the dialogue, and then someone else would make a comment about how kitschy it was. It was a strange but also entertaining ride. I felt like they saved a lot of the horror for the very end. And they really could have spread it all out and not made a huge finale. Another thing about the film is it goes for 2 hours, but you said it felt like it went for longer.
Yeah, I definitely did. I think that it was one of those things, because they based it so much on the book. If they had made it like a screenplay with the idea of it, they could have made it more suspenseful, but I think they tried to stay really true to the book, which was very, like you said, roller coastery, rather than if it was Eli Roth, he would have really tried to drag out suspense into it. And that would have changed obviously the whole feel of it.
Yeah, to be honest, I can't really see Eli Roth doing this film at all. No. It seems so strange of the choice, so maybe that was part of the decision to go separate. Would you say that
why he exited?
It was because of creative, I said this before, but it's because of creative differences, and the fact that he wanted to keep an R rating with the budget, which the budget's like, from off the top of my head, 150 million. Let's say that the graphics and effects in it, pretty fucking good. You can tell it's not a real shark, but it's pretty fucking good and pretty scary. Not scary, I'm not really scared of sharks, and it's just so unbelievable that, and I live in Australia and I'm still not scared of it, but I feel like it did a pretty good job at really having those scary moments.
Yeah, and I think that the key thing for me with CGI and stuff like that is it doesn't take you out of the movie, right? You're not going, oh yeah, I can kind of, like, it doesn't look real, or like laughing at the fact that there's like a green screen. I felt that it did well that it didn't break the movie by but
Yeah.
it's a good enough quality that you can kind of go, that's not what's distracted me in this movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. It doesn't break the movie magic.
Yeah.
But in all, I thought that they did some really fun comedy in there, but it was more like, what do you call it, tongue-in-cheek kind of comedy. It was more like dialogue heavy. There was a couple of characters that were just there for laughs, and that was fine. One thing I will say that I really fucking enjoyed about this film is the first death, which obviously I'm not ruining anything. It's a horror movie. Well, it's kind of a horror movie. People die. They really kind of sucked that out, where they talked about how sad they were that this guy died or person died. I'm not giving it away. And they went on and on and on about it until the final scene. They talked about it, which I really liked, because normally in, horror, like, there's so many casualties, and that's just that,
Oh, my best friend died. Move on.
Yeah.
Oh, my other best friend died. Move on.
But they kept on stressing how important those people were, and the initial person, which I really loved.
Yeah.
All in all, I do think it has major flaws, but for what it was, I was kind of like not impressed, because I had my bar set really low, but I was entertained.
Yeah,
so
it's enjoyable.
Yeah, so I gave it a 6 out of 10, and you gave it the same on Letterboxd?
Same. I gave it 6. Set your expectations low, and don't go in there expecting award-winning performances, and just enjoy a movie and then leave and be satisfied.
I don't think it's worth running to the cinema. I think you guys should save your pennies for, The Nun's coming out. Slender Man is out for you guys at the moment. Dark Web, if it's still in the cinemas. I think that this one will be fine at home. If you want to see it on Netflix or whatever when it actually comes out, I wouldn't run for it unless you're a shark fan or a fan of any of the people in this film or the book. If anyone's read the book, please let me know. Anyway, that was our little review. Come with us review. Our car didn't get broken into, by the way, so that's a good update. But I hope you guys are all very well, and I'll talk to you very soon. Stay spooky. Bye.